Hi, fourth graders. I'm going to do a study guide review with you guys on topic 13. That's a topic that you guys have been working on the last couple weeks. Okay, so I have here a topic study guide, topic 13 study guide that I will send you guys. I'm not sure if you guys will be able to print it out, but if not, you can view it on your screen. But we're going to go through this right now. Okay, so number one. We're going to help Madeline look at the number line below. So we have a number line here, and I see that they've marked something with a B. So let's look at the question. Which value does point B represent? Select two that apply. Okay, so two of these answers we're going to circle. Okay, so first we have to determine how many parts are in this fraction. So if we start here and we count over, let's see how many parts are in this fraction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if there are 10 whole parts, over here I'm going to write out my answers, do all my work. There's 10 whole parts, my denominator is going to be 10. Now we have to determine where B is in this number line. So let's see, we start over here again and we count. We see it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So B is on the fourth mark out of 10 altogether. So that means it is 4/10. Now we see 4/10 right here. So this would be one of our answers. Then we also need to pick another answer because it says select two answers that apply. Well, what you've been learning this week is that fractions are equivalent to some decimals, right? We say 4/10, so let's write that. 4/10. We have to say it with a th at the end, right? What you guys learned is that we have place values. There's a number, there's a decimal, there's another number, and another number. You've learned that this is the whole. This number right to the right of the decimal is our tenths place. And this number over here is in our hundredths place. This whole is also in the ones place value, right? So we have our whole, tenths, and hundredths. Well, if this fraction is 4/10, that means that that 4 needs to go here. So I'm going to erase this number. And I'm going to write in here 4. Okay. So it's just 4/10. There's no whole number. So this whole number can be erased. This number can actually be erased as well. And it's going to be 0.4. So our other answer is right here, A, 0.4. Okay, so let's go on to number 2. Which fraction equals 0.75? Okay, so let's write this out. Number 2, 0.75. Okay, so just like we talked about, this number is in our ones place. This number is in our tenths place. And this number is in our hundredths place. Now, whenever we say a number like this, we always say the place value of the number at the end. So the 5 is at the end. Since the 5 is in the hundredths place, we say 75 hundredths. Now, if we say it as 75 hundredths, that's also the same as saying 75 over 100. This is also 75 hundredths. So this answer would be here, 75 hundredths. We actually say them exactly the same. This is 75 hundredths, and this is 75 hundredths. So when we talk about 7,500, that's kind of like talking about we have 75 cents. We don't have a whole dollar yet. We have 75 cents out of a whole dollar. If we had a whole dollar, we would have $1, and that would just be a 1, just like this, right? But we don't have a whole dollar yet. We just have 75 cents. So this answer here is 75 hundredths, C. Okay, so let's go to number 3. Oh, I gotta scoot number 3 over. Jonah has set a goal of running 1.5 miles each day. She goes running 3, 4, or 5 days each week. Match the numbers of days she runs each week to the distance she will run each week. Okay, so she runs let me change colors here. She runs 1.5 miles each day. Well, what if she runs 5 days? Let's start with this 5 here. What if she runs 5 days? So that means we're going to take that 5 and we're going to multiply it by 1.5. Okay. Okay, so this is going to be a 2-step problem, maybe a 3-step problem. Let's see. Okay, so first we have to take our number here, our mixed number here, sorry, and we have to change that into an improper fraction in order to multiply it. So when we do that, let's go back up here, sorry guys. When we do that, we need to take this 2 in the denominator and the 1, we need to multiply them. 2 times 1 is 2. Then we're going to add our numerator. Why does it keep doing that? So 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 more is 3. This becomes our new numerator, 3. Our denominator stays the same, 2. So 3 over 2 is the same thing as 1.5. It equals the same. But now we can multiply that to this 5 a little easier. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to take our 5 and our 3 over 2. Now remember, when we're multiplying, what you guys have learned this week is that you guys are going to change this whole number into a fraction. Any whole number that you have can be changed into a fraction by adding 1 under it. If you have 100, you can change it to a fraction by adding a 1 under it. That still is the same as 100. Let's try another one. If we have 56, it's the same as adding a 1 under it to make a fraction. It's the same number. 56 over 1 is the same as 56, okay? So we changed our fraction here, or we changed our whole number to a fraction. Now we're just going to multiply straight across. 5 times 3 is 15. 1 times 2 is 2. So 15 over 2. Okay, that was our second step. We do have a third step now. Okay, so 15 over 2. 15 over 2 is like saying 15 divided by 2. So this is our third step. Sorry, let me move this for you guys so you guys can see it a little bit better. So we have to take this 15 over 2 and divide it to get a mixed number, because we can't leave, this is an improper fraction right here. This is an improper fraction. The whole number, or the number on the top, the numerator, is bigger than the denominator, so that means it's an improper fraction. So if we divide this to, let's see, if we have 15 cookies and we had 2 friends, I know, and you can use your chart for this, you can use your multiplication chart, I know that I can give 7 cookies to each friend. And I know that because, let me write this out, DMSPR, I divided. When I multiply, I get 7 times 2 equals 14. I subtract these two numbers here. 15 minus 14 is 1. So I subtracted. Do I have anything to bring down? Nope. So we're going to skip that step. And my remainder is 1. Now with these numbers here, we're going to take this as our whole number. Let me change to a different color. This is our whole number, 7. This is still our denominator. And this 1 becomes our numerator. So how many miles is she going to run in 5 days? She's going to run 7.5 miles. So you would take this 5 and match it to the 7.5 miles, okay? So now I'm going to go through these other two a little bit quicker. So 4 days. We're going to take that 4 days, we're going to multiply it by the 1.5 that she does each day. Okay, so we have to change this into an improper fraction. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 more is 3. So we have 3 over 2. 4 over 1, that's how we write it as a fraction. It means the same as 4, times 3 over 2. I multiply straight across. 4 times 3 is 12. 1 times 2 is 2. Now I'm going to take that, I'm going to divide it up so that I can get a mixed number. So if I have 12 cookies and I have 2 friends, I know that I can share 6 cookies with each of my friends. And I know that because when I divide, when I multiply, 6 times 2 is 12, and then I subtract, I get 0. So in this case, we wouldn't want to say 6 and 0 over 2, because if there's 0 in our numerator, that's like saying there's a pie that's cut in half, but there's 0 pieces. Well, then that means there's no pie. So we don't do this, and we just say 6. So that means she ran 6 miles if she ran for 4 days. So 4 and 6 would go together. Okay, really quick, we're going to do the third one. 3 days. So we have 3 days times the 1.5 miles that she runs each day. We're changing this into an improper fraction. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 more is 3. So 3 over 2. So we're going to change this whole number into a fraction. We're going to multiply that by the 3 over 2. Multiply straight across. 3 times 3 is 9. 2 times 1 is 2. And we're going to divide this out to get our mixed number. I know that if I have 9 cookies and I share them with 2 friends, they're each going to get 4 cookies. I multiply 4 times 2 to get 8. I subtract 9 minus 8 to get 1. I don't have anything to bring down, but I do have a remainder of 1. So remember, once again, I like to do this. I like to draw arrows. I start here and I draw my arrow here and my arrow here. This tells me that 4 is my whole number. That's where I started. Then I go to my numerator of 1. And then my denominator of 2. Now remember, the denominator stays the same. See how it's a 2 here? It's a 2 here. It's a 2 here. So it's going to be a 2 here as well. Okay, let's go on to number 4. Match the fraction forms to the decimal forms of these decimal fractions for Nolan. Okay, let's do a couple of these. We don't have time to do a lot of them. Okay, so let's look at our first one. Our first one, we have 0.71. So 71, remember guys, this is our hundredths. So we have 71 hundredths. Okay, so if we have 71 hundredths, another way to write that in fraction form is 71 hundredths. So we would match the 71 hundredths to the 71 hundredths. Now let's look at one that only has 1 digit next to the 0. 0.4. Well, this we know is in the tenths spot. So that means we have 4/10. How I write 4/10 as a fraction is 4/10. Remember, we say it the same. So 4/10 would be matched to 4/10. Now let's look at this one down here. This one's a little bit trickier, right? We have 0.09. Okay, some of you guys might want to say, oh, that's 9/10, but look at the place value. This is in the hundredths, right? So even though it's a single number, we have 9/100. That's how we say it, 9/100, because it's in the hundredths place value. And another way to write 9/100 is 9/100. So if it's in the hundredths place value, we're going to write 100 here. If it's in the tenths place value, we're going to write a tenths here for our denominator. So this 9/100 would be matched to 9/100. You guys can practice the other three on your own. Let's go to number 5. After number 5, I'm going to take a break and then record another video for you guys for numbers 6 through 10. So number 5, which of the following shows 4/9 as a multiple of a unit fraction? Choose the correct answer for Jadalyn. Okay, so 4/9 as a unit fraction. Okay, so you guys learned in topic 11, I believe, a unit fraction is a fraction. A unit fraction is a fraction with a 1 in the numerator. So this denominator can be anything it wants to be. It could be 1/16. It could be 1/100. It could be 1/2. But a unit fraction has a 1 in the numerator, okay? So 4/9, well, if we have ninths, so ninths is our denominator, a unit fraction would be 1/9, because remember, unit fraction, 1 is in the numerator. So 1/9 is our unit fraction. Okay, so that's our unit fraction. So now, if we need to make it be the same as 4/9, what can we do with this? Okay, let's see. So we have 1/9. We need to multiply it by something to get 4/9. Need to multiply it by something to get 4/9. Okay, I know we need to multiply because it says it's a multiple. So which of the following shows 4/9 is a multiple of a unit fraction? Okay, so we need to get 4/9. Let's look at our options. Ooh, 4 times 4/9. Well, that's plus, so we know that that's not it. We can cross that one out. That's addition. 4/9 times 1/9. Okay, so let's try these out. 4, 1/9, and 4. Well, I know that if I have 4, I have to change that to 1/9 times, oh my goodness, why does it keep doing that? Times 4 over 1. 1 times 4 is 4. 9 times 1 is 9. Oh, 4/9. Okay, so this may be our answer. But let's check the other ones. Okay, we decided that it's not B. Sorry, I lost our stuff for a second there. Okay, here we go. We decided that it's not B. Let's look at C just in case. 4/9 times 1/9. Well, remember, I have to multiply straight across. So 4 times 1 is 4, but 9 times 9 is 81. So that will not work. 4 times 9, that's D. Well, 4 times 9 is 36. That is not going to give me 4/9. So if we look back up here, 1/9 times 4, or 4/1 equals 4/9. So our answer is going to be A. Okay, so that's the end of this video. I'm going to do numbers 6 through 10 in a different video. I hope this is helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next video.